Hey guys, welcome back to the Moto Family Racing Team channel. In today's video I am going to show you changing the front brake pads on the 1988 Honda CR125. So let's get started. This procedure covers replacement of both front and rear brake pads for the CR125R models. Replacement of the pads is essentially the same for both front and rear brakes. It is not necessary to remove the caliper when replacing the brake pads. So first you want to unscrew the brake pad pin with a 5mm Allen wrench. I want to hear from you guys. Comment below which step you think is the trickiest. Now slide the two pads out from the bottom of the front caliper, or just let them fall out like I did. Yep, those are brake pads. I'm going to go ahead and remove the caliper from the fork so I can better inspect. This requires a 12mm socket or wrench. You're going to want to clean the pad recess and the end of the pistons with a soft brush. Do not use solvent or a wire brush or any hard tool which would damage the cylinders or the pistons. Then you can lightly coat the ends of the pistons and the backs, not the friction material, of the new pads with disc brake lubricant. Remove the cap and diaphragm from the master cylinder. Now you can slowly push the pistons back into the caliper. The caliper pistons should move freely. If the pistons do not, and there is evidence of it sticking in the cylinder, the caliper should be removed and serviced. Here I am inserting the top caliper bolt. This way I can use the disc as a guide when inserting the pads. Every good repair requires a safety supervisor. Luckily, mine has 4 paws, a tail, and his name is Dexter. New brake pads are cheaper than dental work. Slide the new brake pads into place in the caliper. Sliding these brake pads in is like trying to thread a needle in the dark with greasy fingers. You can lubricate all moving parts in the caliper with disc brake lubricant. You can use a little bit of medium thread lock or blue Loctite on the caliper mounting bolts. Caliper mounting bolts torque specifications are 23 to 26 foot-pounds. Obviously, I don't have a torque wrench yet, so if this falls apart, y'all didn't see nothing. And for the brake pad pin bolt, 11 to 14 foot-pounds. Insert torque wrench sound here. That ain't going anywhere. Activate the brake lever many times to refill the cylinder in the caliper and push the pistons against the pads. Refill the master cylinder reservoir if necessary. Now it's time to bleed the brake system. This procedure is necessary if the brakes feel spongy, there has been a fluid or air leak in the system, or a component of the brake system has been replaced. After you remove the dust cap from the bleed valve, connect a length of tubing to the bleed valve on the caliper. Place the other end of the tube into a clean container. Fill the reservoir to the upper line. You want to use brake fluid clearly marked DOT4 only. Others may vaporize and cause brake failure. Always use the same brand name. Do not intermix, as many brands are not compatible. Here you see me slowly applying the brakes several times, then holding them on. Open the bleed valve about 1/2 of a turn. Allow the lever or pedal to travel to its limit. When its limit is reached, tighten the bleed screw. As you bleed the system, the level will drop in the reservoir. Maintain the level at about 3/8 of an inch from the top to prevent air from being drawn into the system. Continue to pump the brakes and fill the reservoir until fluid emerging from the hose is completely free of bubbles. Add fluid to correct the level in the reservoir. It should be to the upper level line. Install the diaphragm and reservoir top cover. Tighten the screws securely. That's it. If you enjoyed this tutorial and my questionable torque skills, subscribe for more dirt, grease, and laughs. A handy tip if your brakes still feel spongy is to secure your brake lever with a zip tie overnight. This allows any air bubbles to travel upward. Good night, guys.